like a bloody lumberjack wearing this thing. And an axe in my hand. Back again with another H.R Pufinstuf. If you haven't watched my previous video on this, go check it out. This show is weird. H.R Pufinstuf claims to be the friend you need the most when things get tough. This episode puts that to the test. The episode starts off with just a weird bunch of puppets, and they're protesting. And these puppets look like if the bad guys from Power Rangers just started to hang out, man. And they're protesting about the war that's apparently happening. Goddamn hippies. But they have a valid point. Make candy, not war. I mean, you can't really argue with that. I feel like if you asked anyone, candy or war, they're gonna pick candy, unless they're a psychopath. So HR and Jimmy go check out what all the commotion's about, and this giant lollipop dude tells HR and Jimmy that these protesters want to steal his candy. HR tries to defuse the situation, but he's interrupted by Clockface McGee over here, and this Clockface dude has a telegram from Witchy Poo, and it says that Jimmy and Freddy are wanted by Witchy Poo, or else.
What about a witch? Or else? Or else? Or else?
Or else what, Witchy Poo? Are you gonna kill him? No, because you had the chance last episode and you didn't do it. Are you gonna torture him? No, because you had the chance last episode and you didn't do it. Is there a point to your schemes? Or is this pointless like the entire show? Or maybe that is the point of the show. Damn, that's kind of meta. So HR, Jimmy, and Freddy run off to go see Dr. Blinky because they think maybe he can help them. We cut over to the castle, and this is when we hear Witchy Poo's evil genius plan to steal Freddy from Jimmy. She's gonna use her wand. Of course she's gonna use her wand. She's a witch. The writers of the show are just getting lazy at this point. This is only the second episode of season 1, and the best plan they could think up for Witchy Poo is she's gonna use her wand. Witchy Poo sort of waves her wand around and gives one of her henchmen, this bird thing, a concussion. Imagine the work environment. OH&S would have a field day at this joint. These poor workers running around with the fear that their boss is going to wave her magical wand and maybe just blow off one of their arms. I couldn't work under those conditions. Why don't they just quit? I mean, they probably can't quit because it would be hard to find another job after working for the most evilest person on the island. That's true. It's kind of like an ex-con trying to find a job. Like, who's going to hire them? It's actually pretty rough. I feel bad for these henchmen now. They're sort of like trapped into a job that they get abused in. The system doesn't work. Just to get real political. Anyway, so Freddy the Flute feels bad because the witch wants Freddy. And to get to Freddy, she's going to get Jimmy. So Freddy surrenders himself to the witch. So then Jimmy doesn't get hurt. So Freddy worms his way out of Jimmy's pocket and then worms his way over to the dark forest. Meanwhile, Jimmy is singing a song and dancing in the forest with HR and hasn't even noticed that his best friend Freddy has snuck out the back door. Also, if I had a magical flute, I wouldn't keep it in my back pocket next to my ass. And you know Jimmy's just ripping ass this whole time. That poor flute, no wonder he's trying to sneak away. The song Jimmy is singing is about how lucky he is to have a friend like Freddy. And he hasn't once thought to bring in his magical talking flute for a solo during this song. It's not until the end of the song he realizes Freddy's gone. If I had a magical talking flute and I like to sing improvised songs, I'd be bringing that guy in every 2 seconds for a solo. So they retrace their steps looking for Freddy, and they ask some of the locals if they've seen Freddy. And this tree looks extra pissed off at HR for some reason, like an ex-lover or something. I mean, like, what's that tree mouth do? Are you gonna call me back, HR? Freddy wiggles his way into the dark forest and just starts getting harassed by the tree people that live in the dark forest.
Okay, so you're a wormy flute.
Wormy flute? That's pretty funny. He does look like a worm with a bunch of holes in it. Well done, tree person. Good observational comedy. But my favorite of the tree people is this middle one. Let's just have a listen to what he says.
Whoever heard of a talking flute?
Whoever heard of a talking flute? Says the talking tree, who probably hangs out with a bloody talking mushroom, who plays poker with talking cards and sits around a talking table and their talking chairs. Everything on this island talks, you idiot. Except for flutes, apparently. You know, that's unheard of. Oh, I've never heard of a bloody talking flute. This show makes no sense. Witchy Poo calls up the evil trees and tells them to grab Freddy, and they do it because I'm guessing she employs them. I don't know, I guess they're like a part of her henchman crew. But Freddy's like,
oh no, don't bloody grab me. Stop grabbing me. I don't like it when you grab me.
You want this to happen, Freddy. I don't know why you're complaining. This is exactly what you knew was going to happen. What did you think was going to happen? You wiggle your way over to the witch and she just like gives you a bloody massage. Like, of course she's going to grab you. Now it's time to check in on HR and Jimmy in the Dr. Blinky's lab. And they explains to the doctor that Freddy has gone missing. So the doc says to Freddy and HR, look, the witch has probably got Jimmy. And he's thinking, how can we get Freddy back? And he's trying to think of a plan and he can't come up with anything, which is pretty rare for Dr. Blinky. He's normally the savior of the show. But luckily, he has a crew of just random household items. His candle tells him, why don't you use that thing you built like last week? It's like that big bird with wheels. That'd be kind of cool. And then his book's like, yeah, you could use it like a Trojan horse, you know, when they pack everyone into this horse statue thing and they push it into the castle and they all jump out and kill everyone. Yeah, we could do that. That's really smart. And then this human skull's like, yeah, good job, guys. And you're like, thanks. He really didn't even put it. He didn't really do anything. He just sort of cheered everyone on. But if I was Jimmy, I'd have a lot of questions. How did you get a human skull, Dr. Blinky? I'm the only human on this island. I haven't seen any other humans on this island. Like, I think it's illegal to have a human skull. So they all go outside to look at the Trojan horse wheel bird thing. And just before they leave, HR just shoots his shot with this book.
I've got to come over and read you some night. Anytime, Mayor.
Being on Living Island, everything's alive. You probably have a lot of time to explore yourself, if you know what I mean. HR be fucking that book. Dr. Blinky shows HR and Jimmy the invention he made and he calls it the Wheely Bird. He opens it up and Klinger Clang are just chilling in there. These two barely fit. They're like squashed in there. How the hell is Jimmy and HR even going to squeeze into this thing? And also HR just forces Klinger Clang to help out.
You boys want to rescue Freddy? Do you want to volunteer? You do? Good.
Like they can't speak. They look panicked and they have no way of telling HR. Like how many things does he force them into? Hey boys, do you want to grab my talking razor and shave my back? You do want to grab my talking razor and shave my back? Thanks for volunteering, guys. Jimmy, Kling Clang, and somehow HR all fit into this Wheely Bird and wheel their way over to the castle. Now that's all good. They're inside the bird, fantastic. They somehow fit, but they have to get into the castle. And I just don't see how that's going to work out. If I was Witchy Poo and I was in my evil castle and a giant bird on wheels showed up, I'd think someone's trying to trick me. So I just wouldn't let it in. But luckily for HR and the gang, Witchy Poo has a horny henchman who just so happens to be a bird. And let me tell you, I know the Wheely Bird's an inanimate object, but this henchman bird thing has game.
Would you like to come into the castle and see my dominoes?
Dude, I need to get some dominoes, I'm telling you. I mean, that just has to work. Hey girl, you want to come into my house and check out my domino set? And you're taking all your clothes off. And then the henchman bird just goes in for the kill. He just plants one on her, gives her a big kiss on the beak. He doesn't even know her name. All she's done is laugh at his bad jokes. Yeah. Me and this henchman actually have a lot in common. Now, HR and the crew are inside the bird that happens to be inside the castle now. And, you know, their master plan just keeps getting smarter. They just punch the bird in the face. We cut to the witch, and she's admiring Freddy, all his jewels and stuff. And she gets interrupted by the henchman with the weird eyes and, the heaps of arms. And he's using the binoculars that see everything everywhere all the time. And he tells her that Jimmy, HR, Kling and Clang are in the castle now. By the way, this henchman's only job is to use binoculars and spy on Jimmy. That's really creepy. Imagine the day when Witchy Poo was just handing out jobs. Okay team, well done on making it through the interview phase. Now I'm going to assign you guys jobs. So I need someone to ride next to me on my broomstick and let me hit you in the head with whatever I want, whenever I want to. Yep, I'm your man, I can do that. I'm a bird, so I'm used to being up high and I'm pretty dumb, so you can whack me on the head with anything you want. Great, thank you, appreciate it. Now, I need someone to spy on an 18-year-old boy for me. Oh, sorry, read that wrong. 8-year-old boy. Yep, right here, yep, I'm good to do that, yeah. The binoculars are quite high, I'm not gonna get you a step or anything. You're probably gonna have to look up. No, that's fine, I just really want the job, so, I'm happy to have a sore neck. I'm looking up anyway, because I'm quite short, so, I just really want to look at those kids. Really want to look at the binoculars. I want the job. The witch, now knowing that Jimmy and the gang are in the castle, she hypnotizes Freddy to call out to Jimmy, baiting Jimmy in to the witch's trap. Jimmy goes to break down the door with the old shoulder key, and the door starts to panic. He's like, oh, don't, I'll open up for you, just don't hurt me. The door has one job. Keep people out. Get a new door, Witchy Poo. Jimmy runs into the room and boom, the witch pops in front of her with Freddy in hand. And at this point, I'm thinking, where is HR? He's the friend you want around when things get tough. This is about as tough as it gets. The witch zaps Jimmy and the rescue rangers into a cage and still no HR. Where is he? He just isn't. Oh no, there he is. Yeah, there he is. There's a fishing rod. What did he do? Go fishing while the rest of them are running around the castle? Good fishing spot near the castle is at HR. He just cut to HR's Tinder and it's just him holding a giant fish. HR swings his rod and yoinks the magical wand out of Witchy Poo's hand. Now you know this man fishes. The accuracy like that, to be able to swing that rod around and just whip out a little stick out of a fucking witch's hand. Damn, dude. HR waves the wand, opens the cage, waves it again, and splits Witchy Poo into two. I don't know why you would choose that spell. You know what spell I'd do? I'd do fucking Avada Kedavra and kill her. Get rid of the problem completely. You've got the wand in your hand. Or even just freeze her in ice or something. Do something other than splitting her into two. Now there's two of them. What were you thinking, HR? It's just the most... And that's the end of the episode. Apparently there's 2 Witchy Poos now. I don't think that's going to matter in next week's episode. I think it's all going to get reset back to 0. Hit like and subscribe. If there's any other like weird kid shows or any other TV shows I should check out, you should leave a comment below. Hope you enjoyed the video. This show's really messed up. I'm still bold.